Ladies, gentlemen, and journalists, welcome to the 2021 Aerospace Media Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, journalists and lords, welcome to Aerospace Media Awards. To our winners, sponsors, and all our fine guests, I start our show with a poetic address. This event has been staged for each of 10 years. 200 trophies for our winners we've cheered. In Paris and London, I've acted at 9. Because of pandemic, this time we're online. We applaud reports on propulsion and construction, safety, systems, tech and production, corporate and commercial, maintenance and repair of aircraft and rotorcraft secure in the air. To our sponsors, we're grateful and say hello. For Dassault, it's chapeau, and bravo, Namo. For Boeing, we're glowing, and Gulfstream's a dream. It's good to have you part of our team. In Lockheed Martin, we hearten, and it's agreed. Eurofighters for writers who thrill at its speed. Pratt & Whitney, CAE, and CTT fill us with glee. And last, with L3 Harris, we're in for a spree. Our highly skilled judges have prepared their review. So, attention now, all passengers and crew. Doors to automatic, we're ready to go. Sit back and relax. Let's start this show.
Hello again from the National Press Club here in Washington, D.C. I'm Robert Mack from robertmack.com, where on behalf of the organizers, I'd like to say how delighted we are to be able to bring you this year's Aerospace Media Awards. We were all hoping that this presentation would be taking place in Paris instead of your couch, but the pandemic had other plans. As Humphrey Bogart did not say in Casablanca, we'll always not have Paris. But we hope to bring you a presentation that's just as memorable. I'm just happy to see so many faces. I'm tired of seeing masks. Every time I see a mask, it reminds me of somebody who wants to take my money, like a bank robber or my doctor. Charles Darwin once told me that human beings need to connect and we need to see each other's faces. I saw a neighbor of mine I haven't seen in a long time, and instinctively I went in to shake, and you can't do that. So then I thought I would do a fist bump, and I'm not sure if that's safe either. So I ended up doing that, and that's where things are now. Scissors beats rock and paper. So however we want to say it, hello and welcome. And before we begin, let's hear a few words from the man whose vision back in 2012 helped put this annual event on the calendar, Peter Bradfield.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Aerospace Media Awards. No one is more surprised than me at finding ourselves presenting the awards online again this year. I sincerely hope that next year we can all be able to meet in London for the traditional awards dinner. If there is one thing I have learnt from presenting the awards in this manner, it is that when we can get back together to an awards dinner, it will still be possible to run the presentation online in order that it can be viewed by a much wider audience. As always, the key thing about the Aerospace Media Awards is to ensure that aviation journalists receive the recognition they deserve. This year is no exception. I would like to thank those of you who have been kind enough to make a nomination. This is the 10th presentation of these awards, and this year the number of nominations hit an all-time record, smashing through the 400 nominations barrier and hitting the grand total of 414 nominations, an incredible achievement. Thank you to everyone who took the trouble to make a nomination. Before that record number of nominations, I had already expanded the judging panel to give an even greater degree of expertise amongst the judges. Incredibly, head judge Adam Conno has had his work cut out in judging every single category. I'd like to thank him for such amazing dedication to the cause of excellence in aviation journalism. As well as the regular judges of Adam Conno, Mike Gething, Frank Jackman, Zuzana Petkova, David Dorman, Richard Hedges, Mike Savage, Nick West, Abby Singleton, Greg McCarthy and Chris Stelwag, I would like to welcome and thank the new judges who have joined us. David Harrison, Gim Le Yo, Nikki Neville-Smith, Richard Mumford and Tony Phillips. Thank you for joining the judging panel when there are so many nominations to sort through. It is quite a challenge, but I want to show my appreciation for your great work and judgment. As mentioned, this is the 10th time these awards have been presented. At different stages of the presentation, you will see congratulations and well wishes from past presenters and people who have contributed to the success of these awards over the years. Hopefully, many of them will be able to join us in person next year. Speaking of the success of the awards, none of this is possible without the support of the sponsors, many of whom have been with us for a number of years now. As you can see, I'm holding a ticket from the 2012 awards, and there are some names that have been with us from the beginning. I'd like to thank CAE, who have been a sponsor continually since the first awards in 2012. I'd also like to welcome back Eurofighter, who were also a sponsor at the first awards and have come back to join us again. On the ticket, there is a logo for ITT Excelis, who evolved to become L3 Harris. I would like to thank all of you for being with us from the beginning. Many other sponsors have been equally supportive, returning annually and playing a major role in making this presentation possible. Sponsors, I would like to thank you for supporting this event and your dedication to the aviation press. It goes without saying that since March 2020, we have all faced major challenging times and big disruptions to business as usual. However, some people have suffered more than others, and sadly, we have lost several significant giants from the field of aviation journalism. If we can take a moment to pause and remember those who we have lost during the past 12 months. Let's remember them for their greatness and achievements. My condolences to their loved ones, families and friends. One of the traditions started back in 2018 is to name the Aerospace Communicator of the Year. Someone from industry who goes the extra distance to help aviation journalists deliver stories and news of significance. This year is no exception. The 2021 Aerospace Communicator of the Year is Ben Griffiths of 2XL Aviation. One of the journalists that nominated Ben advises that not only is Ben super helpful and proactive in arranging visits, finding stories for 2XL, but he also puts in lots of work, frequently unpaid I believe, communicating the activities of the wider UK GA, Warbird and historic aviation community, or providing advice to such bodies as the Honourable Company of Air Pilots, Flying Legends, Historic Aircraft Association, Aircraft Restoration Company and the Royal Aeronautical Society. A part owner of a de Havilland Chipmunk based at Shuttleworth, Ben is a total aviation person and well worthy of this award. Before we get this year's event underway, I would once again like to thank the judges for the great dedication and skill in selecting all the worthy finalists. I am most grateful for the continued support of our wonderful sponsors who share our desire to make sure the awards carry on. And of course, finally, the brilliant journalists who have once again managed to raise the standard to new heights. Let the awards commence. I'll hand you back now to your host in Washington, Robert Mack.
Peter Bradfield there. As Peter said, there are some familiar faces from the past in today's presentation. Let's now hear from Richard de Crespigny, a man whose presentation at the 2013 awards received a standing ovation.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to speak to you at the 2021 Aerospace Media Awards, a ceremony where we celebrate excellence in aerospace publishing. I attended and spoke at the awards dinner in Paris in 2013, where I met and acknowledged many members who make outstanding contributions to aerospace science, research, and operations. Now, there's never been a more important time for accurate reporting in aerospace, because this century, aviation has been beset by one crisis after another, from the GFC and aviation's decline through to a delayed but rapid growth. This rapid growth and change has increased the risk that contributed to many novel accidents and even crippled the Boeing 737 MAX production lines. In the space of just a few weeks, we've transitioned from a crisis of expansion and worldwide pilot shortages into the newer crisis of COVID that has grounded airlines worldwide. Many careers, like mine, were lost. Many airlines have failed. Who could have predicted that? But I'm confident that aviation will emerge from COVID being more agile and more resilient than it ever was in the past. And I have great optimism for the future, because aerospace will be disrupted by the same leading-edge, high-tech and disruptive industries that are challenging almost every aspect of our personal lives. Technologies like 3D printing, automation, communications, energy, new materials, robotics, and transport. These are wonderful opportunities, but they also come bundled and laced with threats of increased risk, hype, and noise. Because technology and security are natural enemies. While technology tries to make new things happen, security tries to stop them. So it takes skill to navigate technology and security successfully, and we must remain capable to separate the hype from the reality and pass it on to our readers. For example, Bitcoin has appealed to the underworld, people who want to hide, but people who are suffering FOMO. But last year, Bitcoin's blockchain technology required the emission of CO2 equal to 5% of the world's total CO2 emissions by the world's airlines. To put it another way, from a CO2 emissions perspective, 1 in every 20 aircraft you see flying around today are Bitcoin aircraft consuming resources, emitting CO2, but flying with empty seats and cargo holds. These are very exciting times, but there's never been a greater need for knowledgeable, capable, and experienced people who can translate the complexities of aerospace science to the masses. In the 1997 movie Contact, for example, Jodie Foster, in her character when she emerged into space for the first time, she said, "There are no words to describe it. Poetry. They should have sent a poet." The thing is that scientific poets do exist. In 1943, the French writer and aviator Antoine de Saint-Exupéry wrote a wonderful book called The Little Prince. This book sold over 140 million copies because it has many lessons that continue to appeal to people of all ages. Two quotes that I like from this book are, the first about personality. It's much harder to judge yourself than to judge others. And about technology, the only things you learn are the things that you tame. So we need to translate the facts and isolate the hype for technologies such as drones, hydrogen and battery-powered flight, future supersonic commercial passenger aircraft, and even the levels of automation that are required in simple things like our Tesla cars to advanced future autonomous commercial passenger aircraft. And this is important because we need to be the trusted experts that people turn to during a crisis to report on issues like automation and resilience, and how we can assimilate both of these concepts to avoid repeated crises like Air France 447 and the 737 MAX. Many of my friends have received Aerospace Media Awards. David Learmount and Jeffrey Thomas come to mind. But I have the highest respect for you, all the unsung heroes in this industry who have communicated so well over these challenging times. People like Paul Marks and Tim Robinson in the UK, Christine Negroni, Jay Donahue, Dominic Gates in the USA, and Steve Creedy in my hometown in Australia. To those receiving awards today, congratulations on your success. And I'd especially like to thank Peter Bradfield and all the people who have supported him, who have made these Aerospace Media Awards possible. To every other contributor, thank you for your passion, discipline and effort, because you are the poets who translate for and who have protected this remarkable industry. Thank you.
Even though this event might be virtual, it's very real for our finalists. And as head judge Adam Cano can tell us, once again our judges have had an incredibly tough job picking winners from the 17 categories, as well as those being honored as Lifetime Achievement Award winners. Adam?
Thanks, Robert. And to that figure of 17 award categories, allow me to add another number, 414. That's right, my fellow judges and I read and ranked more than 400 submissions, a record for this event. And it's particularly satisfying to see such a variety of authors and media outlets, as you'll see reflected in our finalists for these awards. In a year of unprecedented developments, you all did outstanding work, and that helped our industry understand and adapt. Robert?
Okay, let's get the Aerospace Media Awards underway, starting with Best Young Journalist, sponsored by NAMO. And here's Jonathan with the finalists.
A pleasure to be with you once again, albeit virtually. Let's start with the next generation of aviation journalists displaying their skills so brilliantly with their impressive work over the last 12 months. Here they all are then, the Best Young Journalist finalists. Callum Chapman, Lee Hudson, Oriana Paulick, Andrew Riley, Nathan Strout, and Yasmin Tajay.
Dear journalists, NAMO is once again sponsoring the Best Young Journalist Award because you are doing a very important job. You keep us informed, you give us knowledge and context, and your publications are arenas for debate. At NAMO, we believe that role is crucial for the defense sector and in turn for our men and women in uniform. We are impressed by what you are doing every day. Keep up the good work and good luck.
And the winner is Lee Hudson. What made Lee's work stand out from other young journalists?
Lee has consistently covered top stories with poise and flair. Moreover, her writing shows the maturity of a more seasoned reporter. The judging panel noted the high quality of entries across the board in this category, and so Lee is to be commended for coming out on top.
Let's hear now from Lee, the winner.
Good evening. It is such an honor to even be nominated in the Best Young Aerospace Journalist of the Year category. I'm so flattered and can't believe I won. The competition in this category is stacked. I want to thank the team at Aviation Week, especially my editors, Joe and Jen, for their support and guidance. My body of work this year ranged from various aerospace topics like U.S. Space Force satellite programs to Air National Guard C-130s, and how COVID-19 is impacting military flight training. Thank you so much and have a good evening.
Our next category is Best Propulsion Submission and is sponsored by Pratt & Whitney.
Yes, and the finalists are Dave Allport, Battle for the Buff, Combat Aircraft Journal; Gareth Jennings, Reaction Engines and Rolls-Royce partner on high-speed aircraft propulsion, Jane's Defence Weekly; Murdo Morrison is personal jetpack set for thrust into mass market, flightglobal.com; Keith Monalushi, Power Up for Recovery, RV Trader MRO; John Ostrower, Coronavirus shreds the engine maker business model, the air current; and Steve Trimble and Guy Norris, Pratt & Whitney makes hypersonic revival as Pentagon pushes reuse, Aviation Week Intelligence Network. Here they all are, the finalists for this year's Best Propulsion Submission.
And the winner is John Ostrower. Adam, propulsion is a very technical subject. What do you look for in something like this?
This article offered well-researched insight into how COVID-19 has challenged the engine maker's business model. It exhibited superb business reporting that clearly defines the pandemic-era aircraft engine market, from strategy to revenue to politics. It also had an excellent narrative and strong sources.
All right, and now let's hear from John.
Greetings from the Pacific Northwest. Unfortunately, as you can see, this is not Paris or London, but I just wanted to say an enormous thanks to Peter Bradfield and the organizers for this honor, to the judges for this recognition of the air current. Enormous thanks to my colleagues Howard Slutskin and Courtney Miller, who make what we do at the Air Current possible day in and day out, and my family for their unending support. Thank you all again, and look forward to gathering finally together next year in London.
Our third award is for Best Image, and our thanks to Dassault Aviation for sponsoring this category.
This category always delivers some wonderful images from the last 12 months, although sadly, thanks to COVID restrictions, this year there are no images from flying displays and exhibitions, of course. The finalists, however, are Jim Hazeltine, Combat Aircraft Journal cover; Kimberly Henneman, Northern Lights; Lloyd Horgan, Vertical Valor cover; Jamie Hunter, Gripen E; Vincenzo Pace, British Airways 747 at sunset; and Mark Wagner, PC-24 Splash. Another fantastic set of finalists. Here they are once again.
And the Oscar for Best Picture, the winner for Best Image is Jim Haseltine. Now, photography is so different than journalism and writing. How do you approach something like this?
Robert, it was a real action shot, yet pin-sharp and detailed, and as such it was nothing short of the complete military aviation photo. Multiple aircraft at multiple angles with flares of light. Stunning.
Great. Congratulations again. We wish Jim all the best. Our next category is Best Safety Training and Simulation Submission, sponsored by CAE.
The finalists for the Best Safety, Training and Simulation Submission are Tom Batchelor, Battling Bird Strikes Airliner World; Jens Flottau, Sean Broderick, Guy Norris, Wide Body Woes, Aviation Week and Space Technology. Robert Moorman, Confronting the Blaze, Cat Magazine. Oriana Paulick, the Air Force wants to overhaul pilot training, but it has to win over the skeptics first, military.com. Patrick Vele, Slip Sliding on Snow, Business and Commercial Aviation. And James Winbrandt, Treating Your Get There-itis, Business Jet Traveller. A reminder then of all the best safety, training and simulation submission finalists.
Hello, and on behalf of CAE, welcome to this presentation of the 2021 Aerospace Media Awards. From its inception, CAE has been the sponsor of the Best Safety, Training and Simulation category at the Aerospace Media Awards. We're proud to associate our brand with this award, and would like to congratulate all the finalists and the winner about to be announced. It goes without saying that COVID has and continues to present challenges throughout aerospace and defense, but one constant has been the thorough and outstanding coverage delivered by the media covering this industry. Thank you for your ongoing contributions, and let's hope we can finally do this again in person next year ahead of the Farnborough Air Show.
And the winner is Oriana Paulick. Okay, Adam, what impressed the judges about Oriana's work?
Robert, Oriana demonstrated fearless reporting here, drawing attention to the need for the U.S. Air Force training to keep up with current aircraft types. It was a story that needed to be told.
Now let's hear from our winner, Oriana.
Thank you so much for this honor. I also want to thank my colleagues and editors at military.com for supporting me in my efforts to get these stories across to the Air Force and the larger military aviation community. I also want to express my congratulations to all the finalists. The stories ranging from training, technology, arms sales, and even to accidents or investigations, each of these subjects are important to citizens and governments that can drive positive change. I look forward to hopefully seeing you all again in person next year.
Let's move on now to Best Passenger and Crew Wellbeing Submission. Our thanks to CTT Systems for sponsoring this.
A premium aircraft cabin is an extremely dry place. Spending more than a couple of hours in it will cause discomfort. It's even drier than the Sahara Desert and the North Pole. It's fact that temperature and air humidity are key ambient factors that heavily impact human well-being and are vital for maintaining a strong immune system. CTT is the market leader in humidity control products designed for in-cabin use on aircrafts. We have dedicated the last 20 years to developing and evolving our humidifier. The effect is striking, providing increased well-being and wellness during and after flight. In flight and at arrival, productivity among passengers is also increased as a result of a natural environment without dryness-induced fatigue. In a humidified premium cabin, both passengers and cabin crew feel more refreshed and less dehydrated, more balanced and at ease. The humidifier on board increases the humidity levels in selected areas of the aircraft, typically in business class, flight deck and crew areas, from around 5% to 22% relative humidity. The significantly high humidity levels prevent degeneration of our immune system, which is inevitable in extremely dry aircraft environments. It also increases passenger and crew well-being and improves our sensory inputs such as touch and taste. The main CTT headquarter premises house both R&D and manufacturing and is located in Nyköping, Sweden. This is an area with a long history in the field of aviation, right in the heartland of the Swedish aerospace industry. Our dedicated and experienced staff are proud to be OEM partners to both Airbus and Boeing, supplying humidification systems for compartments on the new Boeing 787, Boeing 777X, Airbus 380 and Airbus 350XWB. CTT is the market-leading provider of humidity control systems to large VIP and business jet aircrafts, a segment where humidification systems is fast becoming a de facto standard and client requirement. Humidity is key and a vital part of air quality to keep your immune system intact and well prepared to protect you from colds and viral infections.
The finalists are Lindsay Bjerregaard, Medical Mods Inside MRO, Thierry Dubois, New cabin technologies may help restore passenger confidence. Aviationweek.com. Emma Kelly, blank canvas or a simple retouch. In-flight. Catherine Creedy, airlines begin examining cabin future. Aerospace Tech Review. Greg Polick, cabin germ shield concepts raise feasibility issues. Aviation International News. And Pilar Wolfsteller, pilots face career anxiety after coronavirus disruption. Flight Global. Some more fascinating submissions from all of our finalists here.
CTT System congratulates the Media Doctor on this, the 10th Media Award, a decade which has seen ever more nominees in a growing number of categories. Before this innovative award forum was founded, our friends and colleagues of the media had little official recognition of their vital role in supporting so many of us in this fast-changing world of aerospace. It is for this reason that CTT is an enthusiastic sponsor, underlining its wholehearted support for the aerospace media in all its facets. CTT's specialist category is one that affects all who takes to the skies for business or pleasure, but which is so often taken for granted. With the best wishes for the continued success of the Aerospace Media Award. Thank you very much.
And the winner is Emma Kelly. Adam, what made Emma's piece stand out for the judges?
Many COVID-19 cabin articles merely publicize futuristic but frankly unrealistic seating solutions. Emma's article instead took a more reasoned and far-ranging approach, and we appreciated her judicious approach to this topic.
All right, now let's hear from our winner, Emma.
Hello from Australia. I'm absolutely delighted to have won this award. Thank you very much. It's so nice to have one's work recognised. A few people I'd like to thank. Obviously, Peter and his team. Thank you for organising the awards. Thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to the judges. Thank you to Alex at InFlight for commissioning the feature in the first place. I'm very grateful for the work, especially in the past year, which hasn't been easy for a freelance aviation journalist. Ironically, this piece was all about aircraft interiors. I haven't actually stepped foot inside an aircraft since January 2020, thanks to probably the strictest border controls in the entire world. Hopefully the Australian government will change those sometime soon and I'll get on an aircraft again. In the meantime, thank you very much.
Moving on to the best unmanned system submission now.
Yes, and the finalists in this category are Andrew Dweger, Bright Horizons for Maritime Rotary UAVs, Armada. Tim Martin, Male UAS, The Trump Effect, Air Warfare. Stephen Miller, UAVs Evolve to Meet the Changing Mission, Armada. Garrett Rhyme, record number of UAV shootdowns prompt new USAF tactics and countermeasure pod, Flight Global. Richard Scott, Prize Catch, Gremlins testing puts air recoverable UAVs within reach, Jane's International Defense Review. And Kelvin Wong, Winning Streak, China hits stride in armed male UAV exports, Jane's International Defense Review. So here are all of the fabulous finalists in the Best Unmanned System Submission category.
And the winner is Kelvin Wong. There are such amazing things happening in the field of unmanned vehicles. My wife, for instance, drives an unmanned vehicle, technically. But seriously, what was it about Kelvin's work that you and the judges noticed?
We were impressed by Kelvin's series of authoritative articles on China's burgeoning UAV industry. They demonstrated that country's economic prowess and military threat. Kelvin gave us excellent detail and analysis throughout, and that gave him the win.
Let's hear it from Kelvin now.
Thank you, Peter and the Aerospace Media Awards team for organizing yet another excellent event, and to the judges for selecting this feature story. I'm absolutely thrilled and humbled that this work is being recognized among such a strong group of submissions from leading defense journalists around the world, who inspire me with their dedication to the craft despite these strange and challenging times for us in this industry. This feature is a collaborative effort and would not have been possible without the unstinting support from the Jane's editorial production design team, in particular Ria Chandler, for excellent visualizations, which brought the content and story to life more than I ever could have done with mere words. I look forward to returning to the field and catching up with friends old and new once global travel resumes. But until then, I hope everyone stays safe and healthy.
Next in the 2021 Aerospace Media Awards, we have Best Digital Submission.
The finalists are John Walton, Apex Inmarsat Flight Plan Online Seminars. Ian Whelan, Here's what it'll take to make urban air mobility a reality. Future Flight Aviation International News. The Defence and Aerospace Report. Theo Leggett and Tom Burridge, Boeing played Russian roulette with people's lives, BBC. Simple Flying. And TA-TV. Let's take another look at all of the names once again who have made the Best Digital Submission final.
And the winner is the Defense and Aerospace Report. Adam, what did the judges like about this one?
Multiple judges commended this regular podcast for offering so much good analysis from an international perspective. Vago and his three analysts, Ron Epstein, Richard Abalafia, and Sash Tusa, continue to set the highest of standards for timely insight across all aerospace and defense sectors. For many, it is nothing less than required listening.
Well, now let's hear from Vago Muradian of the Defense and Aerospace Report.
Thank you for this great honor and congratulations to my fellow nominees and winners. I'm also very sorry that we again haven't been able to gather in person, but hope that we can do so soon. Peter, I want to thank you for being the driving force behind this great event to recognize great journalism and journalists, the judges for their hard work, and all the sponsors who've made this event possible. I also want to thank all of our contributors and guests who've made our program the success it is, our supportive and dedicated audience, as well as our sponsors and the team who makes the magic possible each and every day. Peter, thank you again. Best to you all. Stay safe and keep doing what you're doing. It's truly never been more important. Thanks again.
Next, we have Best Aerospace and Defense Business Submission. Our thanks to L3 Harris for sponsoring this category.
In an uncertain world, there is one irrefutable fact. Fast changes everything. L3 Harris. Fast forward.
Our finalists are Bill Carey, Air Navigation Service Providers Angst, Aviation Week and Space Technology. Adam Hadezi, Flight Shaming Surprising Power, Aerospace America. Emma Kelly, Reviving the Revenue, Lara. Aaron Mehta and Valerie Encina, Chaos, Cash and COVID-19, How the Defense Industry Survived and Thrived During the Pandemic, Defense News. Andrew McIntosh, Boeing Plays Defense, Puget Sound Business Journal. And John Ostrower, Emirates Tim Clark says Boeing not getting it on 737 MAX, the air current. Another great set of finalists for the Best Aerospace and Defense Business Submission category.
Congratulations to all of you. Good journalism is vital today. It raises awareness of the impact our industry has on defending our freedoms. It promotes transparency and accountability between industry and government, and it highlights the efforts of millions of aerospace and defense workers around the globe. Your work is invaluable, and tonight, the headlines are about you. From all of us at L3 Harris, thank you for your dedication to your craft. And again, congratulations.
And the winner is the jointly written article by Aaron Mehta and Valerie Encina. There was a diverse range of topics in this particular category. Adam, how did you pick theirs out of the others?
There certainly were, Robert. Aaron and Valerie provided excellent perspective on the risk COVID-19 has posed to the defense industry. They also covered how certain elements of the supply chain evolved in real time, thanks in part to federal intervention. This story was proof that necessity is the mother of invention.
All right, and now let's hear from Valerie.
What a year it's been. So, 2020 has obviously been the most cursed, terrible year that I think we've collectively experienced, as a society, but, also within our industry. And I feel so honored to be recognized for my work today. I never expected to do defense aviation reporting, and I just honestly feel blessed that I fell into an area that, has prompted such interest and passion in me. After this year, I feel lucky to have a job because so many reporters have lost their jobs. But I don't have just a job. I have the best job where I'm surrounded by talented reporters that inspire me. I get to meet decision makers and understand how they're influencing defense aviation. And I get to write about how taxpayer money is being spent, which is my ultimate nerdy passion. And of course, sometimes when I'm really lucky, I get to fly in something cool or go someplace that I've never been before. Not lately, but sometimes and hopefully soon. So thank you to Mike Gruss and Jill Toro and the rest of the team at Defense News for your support. Thank you to Peter Bradfield for giving us the space to celebrate aerospace reporting. And thank you to all of my colleagues who lead by your example on how to be great journalists. I cannot wait to be with you all next year in London. So cheers, and I'll see you there in 2022.
Still plenty more to come in the 2021 Aerospace Media Awards, but for now, let's pause and hear from an old friend of the awards, Fred McCauley.
Hello everybody, it's Fred McCauley. Some of you might know me. It's a pleasure to be with you, even if we're all kind of remote. I'm sending you this from my office here in Scotland, and I hope that you're all well and you're all keeping COVID free. It's pretty unusual to try comedy straight to camera and without hearing any laughter, although some of you might say, come on Fred, you should be used to that by now. I guess we've all had to get used to wearing masks. The big question was whether everybody would comply. Our First Minister here in Scotland managed to get everybody to comply simply by coming on TV and saying, "Psst, Scotland, I hear the English aren't wearing masks." Oh, so we said, right, we'll jump to it, get the mask on. Not everybody got the hang of wearing a mask though. I still remember my first trip to the local baker's shop. Only 3 people allowed in at a time, and beside me, a man in his 70s, fully masked, just like this. And when he walked up to the counter, he said, 4 morning rolls and a granary loaf, please. The last 12 to 15 months have been a massive learning process. We learned very early on that our recycling bin for empty bottles was way too small. So we had to improvise and we started using the garden waste bin, but only for bottles we drank outside. You might have heard that there's been a good uptake of vaccines in Scotland. That's because they're the vaccines produced by Pfizer. I think you pronounce all the consonants, don't you? And Pfizer also manufacture a drug called Viagra. So they've been doing a 2-for-1 deal. Some men have been found going round several times. I long for the days when we can all get back together. Travelling might be a bit different. Budgets certainly will. I had a recent trip away and booked a smaller than usual hotel room. The bed was actually bigger than the room. And to read my book, I had to put it on the other side of the door in the corridor and read it through the peephole. That is, of course, just a joke. And it plays on the old Scottish stereotype of the tight-fisted Scot, reluctant to spend his hard-earned money. And I'm afraid I fell into that trap myself. A couple of years ago, my wife and I were on holiday in California. So I should say vacation. We'd been travelling for several days, working our way up and down the Pacific Coast Highway. And we were going into Los Angeles to stay with friends. Well, to be perfectly honest, it was Beverly Hills. Showbiz. And it was great to see them, but also I was pretty pleased that we'd have a hotel kind of situation, but with no bills for a few days. So as a thank you, I said, look, let's take the hosts out for dinner. Stupidly, I let them choose the restaurant. I was hoping that there might be a drive-through option, but no, it was pure Beverly Hills. When I saw the menu, I immediately realised why California has got such a vibrant economy. I mean, the full menu for 4 would have been greater than Scotland's GDP. And I must have looked unwell when I saw it, because the waiter said to me, as if he'd been any doubt about my nationality, it became clear from my response. He said, would you like some water? And I said, how much will that cost? I literally gasped when he told me how much it was for water. I said, is it extra for ice? No, he said, the ice is complimentary. I said, right, good. Give us 2 jugs of ice and turn the air conditioning off. Look, have a great time, albeit online. Good luck to all the finalists and special congratulations to the winners. And who knows, we might all be in the same room sometime at an event in the future. I'll be the one not drinking water. Good luck, everybody. Enjoy your night. Cheers.
That was Fred McCauley, a good friend of the Aerospace Media Awards. Our next category is Best Maintenance, Repair, and Overhaul Submission.
The finalists in the Best Maintenance, Repair and Overhaul submission are Lindsay Bierregard, James Posse and Leanne Shea, the Aftermarkets Recovery Inside MRO. Catherine Creedy, Tectonic Shift in Fleet Planning and Maintenance, Aviation Maintenance. Charlotte Daniels, COVID-19, Driving Digital and Remote Maintenance, Aerospace Tech Review. Christopher Fries, Maintenance Training, A Gateway to a Career, AOPA Pilot Magazine. Keith Mwenalushi, A Case for Optimism and Recovery, Avi Trader, MRO. And Tom Patterson, European MRO's Struggle Against the Pandemic, Aviation Maintenance Magazine. Some great titles and some worthy finalists in the Best Maintenance, Repair and Overhaul submission.
And the winner is Lindsay Bierregard, James Potsy, and Leanne Shea. MRO is one of those sectors that has adapted most during the past 12 months, Adam, so probably a lot of good articles to choose from. How'd you pick theirs?
Definitely, Robert. Lindsay, James, and Leanne are very seasoned MRO journalists, and their experience was clearly evident here. They gave us comprehensive reporting with an expert balance of data and industry opinion. We often see one or the other. This article gave us lots of both.
And now let's hear from them.
Hi, I'm Leanne Shea in Chicago.
I'm Lindsay Bierregard, also in Chicago.
And I'm James Posse in London. This article was very much a team effort.
We interviewed dozens of aviation executives around the world over a month to assess the MRO industry and its outlook early during the pandemic.
Thank you to Peter Bradfield and the Aerospace Media Awards. We're thrilled to accept this award. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Best Rotorcraft Submission.
And the finalists in this category are Mark Broadbent, Helimed Rapid Rotary Response, Air International. Andrew Dweja, ARH, Stick or Twist, Asian Military Review. Ilan Head, Surprise Ending, Vertical Valor. Jen Judson, Flooding the Zone, Future Aviation Capability tightens kill chain at Project Convergence, Defense News. Tim Martin, Heavy Lift Helicopters, Heavyweight Defense, Air Warfare. And Garrett Rhyme, AH-64E teams with 2 UAVs to identify attack target, Flight Global. So here then are all of the best rotorcraft submission finalists.
And the winner is Mark Broadbent. Adam, what made Mark's submission stand out from the others?
Mark covered all the bases here with strong content addressing policy, technology, and real-world operations. Plus, we really liked the detailed full-page infographic and a half-page pilot's perspective sidebar.
And now let's hear from the winner, Mark.
Hello, I'm Mark Broadbent, and first of all, thanks very much for this award. I was very pleased last year to write about air ambulance and HEMS operations in the UK for Air International magazine. There are about 25,000 air ambulance and HEMS flights in the UK every year, carried out by a fleet of around 40 helicopters. But despite that, they don't receive public funding. Most of them rely on charitable donations. Clearly, with COVID, it's been a challenging time. So I was very pleased to be able to write and profile the aircraft, the equipment, and the people involved. Thanks very much once again.
Our next award is sponsored by Gulfstream, and it is Best Business Aviation Submission.
The finalists are David Essler, Challenging Airports, Business and Commercial Aviation. Kurt Epstein, Hangar Fire Foam Systems, A Solution Looking for a Problem, Aviation National News. Volker Tamala, Business Aviation to the Rescue, BART International. Matt Thurber, Dassault adds more smarts to Falcon Auto Throttle, Aviation International News. Alistair White, How to Build an Empire, Corporate Jet Investor. And James Winbrand, Flying in the Age of COVID-19, Business Jet Traveller. A category with a list of finalists that reads like a who's who of business aviation journalism. The finalists in the Best Business Aviation Submission category.
Gulfstream is honored to support the Aerospace Media Awards and to recognize and celebrate the best and brightest in our industry. Thank you for your passion, persistence, and professionalism. We appreciate your hard work and commitment to excellence. Congratulations to each of the nominees for the Gulfstream-sponsored category, Best Business Aviation Submission. Your innovative work helps shape the industry and pushes all of us to new heights. Thank you.
And the winner is Volker Tamala. This is an amazing category with so many top business aviation journalists. What was it that gave Volker's entry the edge over the others, Adam?
Robert, this cover story report goes far beyond the business aviation agenda. It was a comprehensive review of the vital yet often overlooked role of humanitarian support for business aviation. Simply put, it was a well-timed and touching story for a world in crisis, and we were impressed with the corporate social responsibility coverage of various manufacturers.
And now let's hear from the winner, Volker.
Hello everyone. I'm really happy that you can see this because it means that I've won the category Business Aviation in the Aerospace Media Award 2021. Thank you very much to Peter Bradfield for organizing this event. Thank you very much for the jury for choosing Business Aviation to the Rescue. And thank you very much to the whole BART International team for publishing my story. Business Aviation to the Rescue tells an important story of business aviation because business aviation transports people to the hospitals where they get the much needed medical treatment. Business aviation is about saving time, and sometimes these time savings are about saving lives. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you all at NBAA 2021 in October in Las Vegas.
Let's move on to our next award, which is Best Military Aviation Submission, sponsored by Lockheed Martin.
At Lockheed Martin, we're on a mission. Your mission. Not just the next mission, but the one that's 2 steps ahead. The one that depends on solving problems before they happen. Our mission is to prepare you for the future by engineering advanced capabilities today so that you can protect what matters most. That's why we've not only taken the lead in hypersonics, but we're helping you integrate that technology faster than ever. It's why we're not only developing the laser weapon systems you'll need, but deploying them in the field. It's why we've coded cyber readiness into everything we do. It's why we created Orion, the only spacecraft that can take humans to the moon, Mars, and beyond. Why the next generation fighter is ready to help you protect the generations to come. And why we've already built autonomous technology and artificial intelligence that advance human ability. The multi-domain battle space of the future is already here, and there's no time to waste. No time to play catch-up. New age threats require new age capabilities, and that's why, at Lockheed Martin, our mission is to build the integrated solutions you can depend on. Because the world is depending on you.
The finalists in this category are Megan Eckstein, Mission Capable, USNI News. Craig Hoyle, Where Eagles Dare, Flight International. Valerie Insinner, the US Air Force has built and flown a mysterious full-scale prototype of its future fighter jet, Defense News. Gareth Jennings, The Dark Art, Airborne EA becomes the new black for mission success, Jane's International Defense Review. Paul Kennard, Bell and Sikorsky share the spoils, so far, so good, Heliops Frontline Magazine, and Steve Trimble, Digital Reality, Aviation Week and Space Technology. Let's take a look then at all of the best military aviation submission finalists.
Well, hi everyone, from me, John Nielsen, on behalf of the Lockheed Martin team. So the past 12 months have been more than a little crazy, with challenges thrown at all of us from just about every direction, thanks to the COVID pandemic. And while watching today, please just reflect for a moment, if you can, on colleagues from the media, PR and communications world who are sadly no longer able to be with us today because of COVID-19. Through the dark clouds of COVID, it's been great to see some really strong journalism shine through though, and there's been no shortage of excellent content. This is as true for the Best Military Aviation Awards sponsored by Lockheed Martin as it is for other categories. Well done to everyone shortlisted for this year's award, and congratulations from all of us at Lockheed Martin to the category winner. We hope to see you all soon. Until then, stay safe and take care.
And the winner is Valerie Encina. Once again, another top set of journalists in their field. And once again, Valerie comes out on top. That's her second today. What is she doing right?
That's right, Robert. Valerie gave us a superb scoop, one that caused other aviation magazines to scramble in response. More importantly, it exhibited excellent detail and context beyond the scoop itself, and that helped readers understand why this story truly mattered.
Now let's hear again from our winner, Valerie.
So I am absolutely gagged that I won Best Military Aviation Submission. Have you guys seen the list of nominees? People like Craig Hoyle, Steve Trimble, Megan Eckstein. These are just incredible reporters. The whole list of nominees. I'm just honored to have my name printed alongside theirs. So, thank you so much, Peter Bradfield, for putting on this award ceremony and for taking some time to honor the people that work in this space. I think that the work that we do is so important. To write about defense aviation and the defense industry, it's a very niche community and it's very technical. And I just think it's such important work to be able to shine a light on what's going on out there. So thank you to my boss, Mike Cruz, Jill Toro, for all of your support, to the team at Defense News for just making me better. I cannot wait to see you all next year. Cheers.
Just 5 more award categories and the Lifetime Achievement Awards to go. Next up is Best Commercial Aviation Submission.
The finalists are Jens Flottau and Guy Norris, In Transit, Aviation Week and Space Technology. Jonathan Hemmerdinger, 2015 FAA reports highlighted early concerns about self-certification program, Flight Global. Holly Hegeman, American Airlines new revenue czar, Vasu Raja, Plain Business Banter. Emma Kelly, Waste Not Want Not, In Flight. Andrew McIntosh, The Rise and Fall of TTF Aerospace, Puget Sound Business Journal. And Tim Robinson, Airbus spearheads hydrogen moonshot, Aerospace. The finalists once again for the Best Commercial Aviation Submission.
And the winner is Tim Robinson. Commercial aviation is probably the sector that's been hurt the most in the pandemic, that and the Robert Mack fan club. With that in mind, Adam, what was it about Tim's piece that stood out to you?
Well, I can only address the first of those two, but Airbus's concept aircraft are the impetus for an article that turns out to be far broader and thus comprehensive and balanced. That was a welcome surprise, and we appreciated that Tim took a story farther than others. That's why it stood out for us.
Congratulations again, Tim, and here's Tim's response. I am beyond thrilled and extremely honored to be named a winner in this year's Aerospace Media Awards, especially when up against such amazing fellow journalists and writers. When I took a look at the names of the other finalists, I was pretty sure I was safe from making any acceptance speech. My big thanks to the rest of the Aerospace Publications team for their hard work in very difficult times this past year, and look forward to catching up in person with many of you at the 2022 Media Awards. This just in, the award for Best Breaking News Submission.
And the finalists for this are Bill Carey, pilot's spatial disorientation caused Kobe Bryant hello crash, NTSB says, Aviation Week Intelligence Network. Chen Chuanren, investigators cite thrust discrepancy behind SJ182 crash, Aviation Week Intelligence Network. Mark Huber, hello crash kills basketball legend Kobe Bryant, 8 others, AIN alerts and HAI Convention News. Gareth Jennings, UK bars South Korea from selling FA-50 to Argentina, Jane's Defence Weekly. Andrew McIntosh, Comac checks out Boeing's backyard, Puget's Sound Business Journal. And John Ostrower, Boeing yanks 8 787s from service over structural issue, the air current. Another 6 fantastic names all vying for the best breaking news submission.
And the winner is Andrew McIntosh. I stopped watching the news, Adam. There was a time last year when it was the worst show on television. But seriously, after the year we've all experienced, what made Andrew's work connect with the judges?
Robert, Andrew's fascinating article clearly benefited from deep, original research. It was a really engaging expose with exclusive sourcing, finely balanced, thoughtful analysis, and useful context.
Now let's hear from Andrew.
Well, if I'm standing here now, it's because I beat John Ostrower a second time. And who does that, right? Who does that? So I'd like to tip my hat to him. It was a hell of a story that he broke. And my story was one that I kind of stumbled across just being a good beat reporter. Kept hearing, I was trying to research what was going on with Comac C919, and people kept saying, well, oh, I thought you were calling about their plan to move down to Federal Way, which is a city south of Seattle. And I heard that 3 times and I thought, what is that all about? And so I started making a blitzkrieg of phone calls and talking to sources, and because China's aerospace companies, as you know, don't very much talk to us people in the media, and they actually, to their discredit, kicked out the Aviation Week correspondent from China the past year, to be noted. And so I needed to give a voice to China through confidential sources and what they were thinking and what they were doing when they decided to set up a plant, a center in Boeing's backyard, which was what this story was about, and pulled the plug on it at the last minute for reasons that still are mysterious. And so anyone who's out there who knows about this, feel free to give me a shout. And congratulations to fellow nominees, and thank you to the judges again for this great honor. At this point, this is a hat trick, so it's like hockey playoff time in North America, and so I celebrate my hat trick tonight, if indeed I did win one. Thanks very much.
Our next category is Best In-Depth Aviation Submission, sponsored by Eurofighter. This is the most popular category, consistently attracting a large number of nominations.
The finalists are Callum Chapman, The X Factor, Air International; Charles Forrester, Industrial Action, Finnish Defence Industrial Capabilities, Jane's Defence Weekly; Joe Gould, Valerian Sinner, and Aaron Meta, Congress has secretly blocked US arms sales to Turkey for nearly 2 years, Defence News; Craig Hoyle, Tempest on Target, Flight International; Gareth Jennings, Brewing Up a Storm, Tempest ushers in new era for UK combat aviation, Jane's International Defence Review; John Lake, Next Gen Radar, Air Forces Monthly; John Ostrower, Boeing's MCAS on the 737 MAX may not have been needed at all, the Air Current; and Oriana Paulik, after fatal jet crash the pilots got blamed, then the Air Force banned the flight manoeuvre, military.com. More in-depth research from the finalists in this popular category. Due to the number of entries, there are 2 awards for the Best In-Depth Aviation Submission Award.
Hello everybody. Eurofighter is proud to be a part of the Aerospace Media Awards this year. And well, first of all, we would like to thank you, Peter, and your entire team for bringing this event together again under such challenging circumstances. Dear journalists, dear media colleagues, your industry colleagues are aware, now more than ever, of how much skill, research, effort, and technical knowledge it takes for you to write in-depth aerospace articles and reports. We thank you for keeping our industry in the public eye in the absence of real-time in-person events and briefings. We hope that soon we will all get together and spend quality time on each other's company. Believe it or not, we really do miss seeing you all. In the meantime, we at Eurofighter are honored to sponsor the Best In-Depth Aviation Submission category. We congratulate all the nominees, and especially your winners, for constantly pushing journalistic boundaries, cutting through the noise, and reaching new heights in high-quality aviation journalism. We are proud to be associated with you.
As Jonathan said, there are 2 awards for this category. This year, the judges' commendation goes to John Osterauer, his 2nd award. What was the judges' take on John's piece?
John's reporting on all things Boeing is consistently a revelation. This article digs deep into internal source material and incorporates wide-ranging comments from a diverse range of people to produce a compelling narrative.
Now let's hear from John again.
Greetings again from Seattle and my backyard, not obviously gathering together in a lovely evening dinner in Paris or London. I want to say thank you again to the organizers. Thank you for this 2nd honor for the Air Current. Thank you to my family. Thank you to all of my colleagues who have worked so hard to deliver amazing reporting over this last year. Look forward to being all together next year. Thanks.
And this year, the winner of the Best In-Depth Aviation Submission is Gareth Jennings. Adam, what do you have to add to this piece?
This tour de force by Gareth covers just about every aspect related to the future Tempest program. Simply put, every angle was there: technological, political, and strategic.
And now let's hear from Gareth.
Firstly, I'm very grateful to receive this award for myself and on behalf of the wider Janes team. And also I'd like to offer a huge thanks to Peter and his team for once again hosting the annual Aerospace Media Awards, which hopefully are being held in their current virtual format for the final time. Next year, we'll get to do this again in person. So thank you very much indeed.
Now it's time for the Bill Gunston Technology Writer of the Year Award, sponsored by Boeing.
The aviation industry has come together to get people out into the world. Working with our airline partners, we're committed to help give travelers and flight crews the confidence they need. United with the medical community and global experts, we're focused on enhancing health safeguards and deploying new technologies to ensure that the only reservation you have is a round trip to your next destination.
The finalists are John Harper, Emma Kelly, John Lake, Garrett Rhyme, Matt Thurber, and Graham Warwick. So then, here are the 6 finalists in the prestigious Bill Gunston Technology Writer of the Year category.
Boeing is honored to be a long-standing sponsor of the Aerospace Media Awards. While unfortunately we are again forced to announce the winners virtually, it speaks volumes to the industry's resilient spirit, can-do determination, and innovative thinking that allows us to move forward and overcome these challenges together. Aerospace has a long and proud history of engineering excellence that has never failed to conquer the seemingly impossible. This is never more true than today as we work collaboratively across our industry with both customers and competitors alike to restore air travel and enable people to once again fly far and wide, safely and with confidence. Aerospace media play a key role in this regard, analyzing and distilling technically complex subject matter and communicating it to audiences in clear and concise terms without fear or favor. This award is named in honor of one of the foremost technical journalists of his time, Bill Gunston, and each year this award goes to the writer that best honors that tradition.
And the winner is Matt Thurber. As usual, a batch of great finalists, Adam. What did you like about Matt's piece?
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to Matt. His experience as a pilot imbues this and other articles with innate first-person credibility, perspective, and where necessary, judicious skepticism.
Now let's hear from Matt.
Well, this is a big surprise. I'm absolutely delighted to win the Bill Gunston Technology Writer of the Year Award. What a fantastic tribute, and I really appreciate it. Also, thank you to Boeing for sponsoring this award. And as always, thank you, Peter Bradfield, for putting together this fantastic event.
Before we hear from our Lifetime Achievement winners, it's time for our final award, which traditionally is Reporter of the Year. Our thanks to Dassault Aviation for sponsoring this award.
Oh, why don't you take me to the moon? I'll fly with you in a balloon, and there you kiss me. And when we kiss, it seems as if we're glued together forever and ever till the end of time.
What a year to have been reporting on. Once again, another truly impressive crop of finalists who are Peggy Hollinger, Valerie Insinner, Andrew McIntosh, Adrian Schofield, Karen Walker, and Graham Warwick. The 6 all hoping to be this year's Reporter of the Year.
And the winner is Karen Walker. This category is all about those who have produced incredible writing over the last year, Adam. What was it about Karen's reporting that stood out for you?
Robert, Karen provided clear and insightful writing backed with strong data on civil aviation's historic worst year ever. Her contributions were voluminous yet always detailed, and we also noted Karen's excellent use of webinars, going straight to top airline CEOs rather than following the pack.
Congratulations, Karen, on winning such a prestigious award. Now let's hear from the winner.
Hello everyone, I'm Karen, delighted to be joining you from my home just south of Washington DC. And if I am joining you, I guess that means I won, and I'm completely amazed and surprised by that, but very grateful. Thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Peter. Thank you to the Aerospace Media Awards and to Dassault Aviation. In true Oscar style, I guess this is also the moment where I thank my fellow nominees and my family, but I can just do that in 2 words. Hi, Graham. Really seriously, to be in the company of the fellow finalists, Peggy, Valerie, Andrew, Adrian and Graham, all who do such spectacular work, really does make this very special indeed. So then 3 more people I have to say thank you to. The Aviation Week Network President, Greg Hamilton, my boss and publisher, Beth Wagner, and the CEO of Informa, our parent company, Stephen Carter. They have all been incredibly supportive of us all through these very interesting times. And so big thank you there also. With that, this is currently empty, but I promise you, if I'm watching you now, it's very soon going to be full. Very much looking forward to seeing everybody for real in the not too distant future. I'm sure it's close by. Cheers. Thank you.
Every year we also honor those who have not just made a contribution over the past 12 months, but over an entire career. It's the Lifetime Achievement Award, sponsored by Lockheed Martin.
At Lockheed Martin, we're on a mission. Your mission. Not just the next mission, but the one that's 2 steps ahead. The one that depends on solving problems before they happen. Our mission is to prepare you for the future by engineering advanced capabilities today, so that you can protect what matters most. That's why we've not only taken the lead in hypersonics, but we're helping you integrate that technology faster than ever. It's why we're not only developing the laser weapon systems you'll need, but deploying them in the field. It's why we've coded cyber readiness into everything we do. It's why we created Orion, the only spacecraft that can take humans to the moon, Mars, and beyond. Why the next generation fighter is ready to help you protect the generations to come. And why we've already built autonomous technology and artificial intelligence that advance human ability. The multi-domain battle space of the future is already here, and there's no time to waste. No time to play catch-up. New age threats require new age capabilities, and that's why, at Lockheed Martin, our mission is to build the integrated solutions you can depend on. Because the world is depending on you.
Before welcoming the presenter of these awards, let's hear from John Nielsen of Lockheed Martin.
Hello again. It's always great to be part of recognising those who've made a significant contribution to the sector in which we work. Aerospace, space and defence journalism is no exception. Tonight, the recipients of the Lifetime Achievement Award have both demonstrated a strong commitment to reporting in some very different areas of the business. More than this, through their work, both have been part of stimulating interest in aviation journalism, which helps ensure a talent pipeline for the future. There's little more I can say really about the recipients of the award tonight without giving too much away, so I'll stop at this point and say congratulations and thank you for your dedication and your commitment to both recipients of the Lockheed Martin Lifetime Achievement Award.
This year, to make the presentation of the Lifetime Achievement Awards, I would like to welcome Lisa Matthews, the 114th President of the National Press Club.
Thanks, Robert. Our first Lifetime winner is Roy Braybrook. Peerless for his credentials and accomplishments, Roy's writing is an aerospace journalism holy trinity. Effortlessly authoritative, flawlessly detailed, and unceasingly fascinating, Roy is unwell at the moment, and the award organizers have created a video based on Roy's acceptance speech with images of many of the people and aircraft from Roy's career. We wish Roy a speedy recovery.
Members of the Aerospace Media Awards Committee, many thanks for this incredible honour. To say that I was completely blown away would be an understatement. All of us aspire to receiving a nomination one day. This is way beyond that. It forces me to look back and realise how much of my career depended on the friendship of so many people who gave me the opportunity to do what I really loved doing. In my teenage years, my interest in aviation grew. I persuaded the Hawker PR people to give me a tour of their ham works. The production area was filled with seagull-shaped Seahawks, but in experimental, I saw the bullet-shaped P1067 Hunter F2. I was sold. I had found my passion. I wanted to design fighters for Hawker aircraft. I entered aerospace journalism almost by chance. Around 1960, at the height of the Cold War, Derek Wood of the London office of the Geneva-based Interavia asked his friend, Hawker aircraft chief designer Sir Sidney Cam, to get one of his project engineers to write a piece on where combat aircraft design might be going. Without reference to the Defence Ministry security people, Sir Sidney agreed. The job came down to me. Derek knew full well that Sir Sidney, who never sought publicity, would back off at the last moment, so went ahead and published anyway. My career in journalism was launched. It was revived some years later when Francis Mason, Hawker historian, left the company to become editor of RAF Flying Review, the forerunner of Air International. Frank asked me to write an article on the MiG-21. This was the opportunity of a lifetime, because the defence press had got this aircraft completely wrong. By analogy with the F-86 Sabre and the F-100 Super Sabre Wake Gross story, writers had assumed the MiG-21 would be a heavy fighter. Then a Soviet MiG-21 squadron visited Finland. A guard was photographed next to the MiG-21 air intake and the cover was blown. If you know how much air is going in, you can estimate thrust, weight and performance. We in the project office did this every day of the week on competitors' aircraft. It was only a light interceptor, capable of defending its own airfield. My reputation was made and a series of articles on Soviet combat aircraft was commissioned. I have to say at the outset that I owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to Sir Sidney, my idol and mentor. He had my back from the moment I joined the project office in 1956. This coincided with the Hunter losing its super priority status. Sir Sidney took it on himself, unsuccessfully, to request my exemption from national service so that I could focus on designing fighters. Many years later, the directors of de Havilland pressed him to fire me for writing that their Sea Vixen was a heap of rubbish. Sir Sidney told them that if Braybrookes, an error I never dared to correct, said it was a heap of rubbish, it probably was. He came to me afterwards and said, "If you can't look after your young, what are you?" The other person to whom I owe such a debt is clearly William Green, the publisher of Air International. Among his many achievements, Bill brought together myself and Chris Wren for the controversial Personal View series. Chris was the greatest aviation cartoonist, the only one I have ever met who could caricature both planes and people. I also owe a great deal to the Air International editor, Gordon Swanborough, and Peter Sterling, publisher of the Swiss-based Armada International. Only a publication such as Armada could provide both the necessary volume of work and payment rate similar to union demands. I am forever grateful to Peter. My Armada income was supplemented by commissions from magazines such as Elaine Aish's Revista Area Latino Americana in New York, Mike Gething's Defense in Eton, and Aircraft in Melbourne. I was also helped by several other writers, including top-of-the-range John W.R. Taylor, another ex-Hawker employee, and Bill, Book of the Month, Gunston. Also by my best friends, Mike Stroud, Mike Gething, and Barry Wheeler. Mike Stroud's son, Nick, went on to become editor of the successful The Aviation Historian. I owe all these friends and so many more. In concluding, I feel I should have some kind of message for young aspiring aerospace journalists. The fact is that all businesses move on and the key to success changes. My only advice is to stay flexible, embrace change and work hard. Looking back, I had a great career and would change places with no one.
We are also honoring someone else who has contributed so much to aerospace journalism over the years. Lisa?
The next Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Fred George. Fred's pilot reviews set the standard in aerospace journalism for their combination of compelling storyline and dispassionate detail. These are traits that his work exhibited even when not written from the cockpit.
Imagine my surprise when Peter Bradfield called a few weeks ago and said, "Lifetime Achievement Award." What an honor. How humbling to be put into the same league as these distinguished aviation journalists and publishing icons. But the Lifetime Achievement Award is as much about team as it is an individual. I'd especially like to thank Bill Garvey, Jessica Salerno, and Joe Anselmo for making possible my 40-year career. I never could have imagined how this was going to turn out at the start. Chalk up this 4-decade odyssey to pure serendipity. When I quit flying Phantoms off the boats in 1977, I dreamt of being an airline pilot. You know, start small and big and retire rich. My timing couldn't have been worse. In the late 1970s, there were lots of Vietnam-era pilots bailing on the military for the airlines. Most of these folks had 3,000 plus hours. I had half as much time. So I spent the next 3 years instructing in citations and flying Learjet charters to build my time. But a recession was looming, and by 1980, I was back out on the street looking for work. Full-time flying positions were scarce, so I decided to try writing about my experiences flying left seat. I knew my flying skills were okay, but wow, my writing was really second-rate, and my paltry paychecks reflected it. But thanks to the patience and guidance of Bill Garvey and other gifted wordsmiths, I learned enough to hold down a full-time job. This time, though, my timing was perfect. I had no idea what doors were about to open for me. Aviation journalism, not the airlines, turned out to be my true passion. It would give me access to dozens and dozens of wonderful aircraft just waiting to be flown. All I had to do is to write about them the next day. I was the proverbial kid in a flying FAO Schwartz toy store. You know, at first I was infatuated by all that hardware. Then I started to look through all these business cards I was collecting, and I said, it's not about the hardware. It's actually about these extraordinary people that we are privileged to meet all along the way. Astronauts and engineers, entrepreneurs and inventors, test pilots and tycoons. These people make history. I was walking down Pat Epps' ramp one day at MBAA several years ago, I think it was 2007, with a friend of mine. I said, look at this moment in history. At your 12 o'clock, right behind me, is Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon. And about 100 feet down there is Gene Cernan, the last man to walk on the moon. Let's go say hi. Moments like that made me realize that my aviation career was a treasure. Near the end of 2020, several of us retired from Aviation Week. Retirement for me, like for so many of you, is an obsolete concept because we love what we do. I'll keep doing this for another decade or more, God willing. So at this point, thank you, colleagues, for your camaraderie. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your passion, your dreams, for digging out those great news stories. And thank you for inspiring a whole new generation of aviation journalists. It's been a great privilege to work alongside all of you. I owe so much to so many of you for making all of this possible. Good night.
Thank you, Lisa, and congratulations to Roy and Fred, as well as to all the nominees and winners across all of our categories. That is almost it from this year's Aerospace Media Awards. A little different, but we hope it was virtually enjoyable. Thanks from me, your host, Robert Mack, Head Judge Adam Cano, National Press Club President Lisa Matthews, and everyone else here at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. For the final word, let me hand it over to the Aerospace Media Awards principal, Peter Bradfield.
I would like to add my congratulations to all of the finalists and winners. I would also like to add my thanks to everyone involved in the production of this presentation, and I sincerely hope that we can all meet again in person in London for the Aerospace Media Awards next year. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in person soon.
We would like to thank you for watching and sincerely hope that we can welcome you to the Aerospace Media Awards dinner in London next July to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Aerospace Media Awards.